Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Outside the Box. I'm Mark Wallbank from Haunted Auckland and Paranormal New Zealand. Today's guest lives down in the South Island of New Zealand. I discovered her page a little while back, her Facebook page, CINZ, which stands for Cryptids in New Zealand. So we're going to be talking now to Kim from CINZ about cryptids and all things hairy. Hey there, Kim. How have you been?
Yeah, nice to meet you too, Mark. Yeah, no, tickety-boo, ticking along just like everybody else, whatever is normal anymore.
Yep. Yep. Well, that's why I'm doing these video things, because I'm just sort of staying productive and creative as best I can in this time with lockdown and all that. Keeping in touch with people.
I think it's fantastic. Yeah, and it's a good platform.
Yeah, it is. It's easy to operate. I mean, you do get your glitches and you do get your problems, but it's been fun. I've been really enjoying just talking to people and all across the world, actually. It's been really good. And then I found your website, found your page. I found your page, your CINZ Cryptids in New Zealand page. And I hadn't seen it before.
Yeah.
So I've been following it for a little while, but it was quite new to me. And really enjoying it. I'm enjoying your adventures. How did you get started?
It's a journey, just kind of like you know?
Yeah, it is. Looking for answers.
Mm.
So how long have you been doing this?
Doing the actual channel or doing research. What I've been doing? Oh, I would have to say probably at least 7 years, eh?
Yeah. Okay.
At least 7 years, and then I just got the thing. Well, basically, you usually find you're in the Bigfoot community, the UFO community, or all of the above, paranormal community. Well, I pretty much like to cover all of it, but you will probably find, Mark, that New Zealand are very one-eyed and they're not so fond to share their stories because of ridicule. Well, I guess my channel, probably like yours, you take one for the team, eh?
Exactly. I'm the nutter. I'm the nutter out there.
Me too, apparently. Yeah, apparently I've been called a whack job, but I don't believe it. No, no, I'm not.
You've
got to make fun of yourself, right? Yes, I believe I am. Most times, no, I am.
No tinfoil hat.
It takes a certain kind of person to do that, eh?
It does. A strong person, and a tolerant person, and a dedicated person. Yeah. So,
exactly.
I guess you're a lot like me. I mean, I've growing up, being into the UFOs, cryptids. I'm a huge Bigfoot, Loch Ness monster sort of fanatic. Any sort of cryptid excites me. And paranormal is what I do with my paranormal team. So I try and do everything that I enjoy doing. Are you? Cryptids. What have you've been out and about looking various cryptids out there? What's the one that sort of is most intriguing to you?
Well, actually, the one I was actually over in Aussie 4 months ago. My brother had he was on a 7-acre property and he wanted me to go look after his animals. And because I thought, I know what Bigfoot behaviour is, I've done the research, I know what to look for. There was a 5-minute quarry down the road. I found it all right. Well, shall I say, I didn't find it, they found me. And I saw this head and I'll never forget it. Never forget it. So that's probably the most impactful thing for me. But I've had things just like yourself, probably way back, even when I was a kid. So I've always been a believer. Right from... Yes. Yeah. So I haven't put that encounter out.
So that'd be Yowie. Yeah.
I haven't put that encounter.
Yeah. I've spent quite a bit of time
Rustic
myself.
red Irish setter.
The Blue Mountains.
That's great,
the Ranges. Incredible.
Oh, jeez, they're definitely there.
Yeah. So whereabouts did you have your sighting?
Milbrodale, New South Wales.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm just glad it was belly crawling and I just saw the head. Otherwise, I would have been a fainting goat. I assure you.
Belly crawling?
Yeah. Belly crawling. That's one of their behaviours. Because they're so tall, they're not going to get spotted. They're elusive, like obviously the panther. They're going to belly crawl. Yeah. If people do their research, yeah, exactly. Going to do exactly unnoticed, you know. But I do have a story for you if you want to hear about it.
Definitely.
It was only on Thursday. What's the cat passing by? Don't mind that. Plenty of. Yeah, on Thursday. And as far as like UFO stuff, we saw a fleet of them. I couldn't believe it, and there's no point in getting my phone because of the light pollution in Rangiora. I'm thinking, who else is seeing this stuff? It was like 2, 3, 2. There was at least 14 to 15 of them. Never seen anything down this way. Very, very interesting. So I was going to put that on the channel too, but I should have at least did the audio. Nah. I just like, what the hell is that?
You don't think about it at the time, do you?
It was only like 8, 9 o'clock at night.
And it couldn't have been drones or anything like that. You've ruled out all the obvious.
Yeah. Well, initially, Mark, I actually thought it was a satellite because I saw one. I thought, surely there can't be 2, and it was going a lot faster. But they were literally in the line of path, like a flying fox. You know how they go that sonar pattern? Well, they were obviously navigating just one after the other. They were following straight past. Never seen anything like it.
What colour?
Just white.
Sort of white.
All white. But I just noticed a pattern. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. 2 quite close together. Yeah. So it was definitely a pattern.
So you haven't had any other UFO sightings out that way?
Not here. When I used to live in Aussie, plenty there.
Yeah, Aussie's a bit of a hotspot, isn't it? All over the place. Yeah, quite amazing.
It sure is. Yeah. The stuff that I saw was like, say, are you familiar with Ballina, Lismore, Evans Head?
Lismore, yeah.
That area? Yeah. Very hot spot out there because there's a military base out there too.
Yeah.
To the point where I even saw lasers in the sky.
Really? I've heard rumours of a base nestled in the Blue Mountains. Katoomba as well.
That does not surprise me.
A lot of UFOs
at all.
A lot of UFOs spotted out that way. I've hung out quite a bit with Rex Gilroy. I don't know if you heard of him. He's a Australian cryptozoologist. He's a bit of a yowie hunter.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lovely old man. He's considered very eccentric.
And he came over here looking for the moa, I believe.
He did, the moa. And he had some he scored some pretty big plaster casts. You know?
Is he? I still think they exist, Mark. I still think they exist.
Yeah. I believe that. There's been a few sightings. There was a photograph quite a few years ago that was taken. It was apparently of a moa, but to me it looks like a takahe, something like that. Doesn't look big enough, but I don't know. I've heard it's quite a short moa. It's the short species, isn't it? Moa. It's not the giant sized. It's the smaller sized one. I can't remember the name.
Yeah. Or it could have been a young one. Yeah, no, I personally, I'm probably wrong, but I think they definitely exist. And I do believe that the fjordlands are actually cut off from us in a lot of ways. So what's there? I mean, I know it's rugged, rough, hostile country, you know, but still, it's a dock land. You can't go on there. I mean, this is just hearsay. Yeah. But you tell me not to do something, I want to do it. Just the nature of the beast.
They're still seeing moose down there, aren't they? So.
Yes, exactly. I wonder if the bounty's still on them at $10,000, or is it up to 20 now, or is that? Yeah, exactly. I'd really like to know.
And of course, there's the
Yeah.
old big cats. They're finding lots of prints down that way as well. Lots of
Yep.
big cat prints.
Actually, it wasn't that long ago. There was one spotted South Canterbury. That was in stuff. So they're definitely sightings.
Yes.
You can't deny it, can you?
It's quite amazing, those big black cats. I mean, they're seen all over the world. I mean, I'm on quite a few Facebook pages and groups and discussion pages, and over the UK, there's quite a few sightings over the UK,
Yeah.
all around the States, Australia, New Zealand. You know, we get they're everywhere. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I've followed the UK one since I was a bloody kid.
Yeah.
So the interest has always been there, but to find out they're here, it's like, oh yeah, righto.
there have been a few photographs which I can sort of see that, to me, they look like large feral cats or oversized domestic cats. You know,
Some of them,
some of them do, yeah, but some of them, yeah,
yeah.
intriguing. Actually, I wrote about one in my last book. There was a sighting about a whole bunch of I can't remember, what was that, in Canterbury? Bunch of hunters
Yeah.
camping overnight, and they had a big black panther confront them, and they were sitting around their fireplace, around their little fire out in the bush. And they were all drunk.
Okay, I wonder about it.
It was I don't have my book
Yeah.
handy.
Damn, don't worry about it. It's all good.
It's a
Sorry.
bush down there. I'll let you know later on,
Fine.
but it's possibly down your way. Yeah. So your opinions on the cats? I mean, any theories about how there can be so many of them, or I mean, have you found anything down your way, that any evidence, or yourself, or?
No, no. I haven't personally seen anything. No,
I
no.
have a friend down that way that sent me some
But-
photographs of some large cat prints in a riverbed. He took photos of them. He didn't take any castings, but he took photographs of a couple of prints that he found, and they were quite large
Okay.
prints, definitely cat prints. And that was just out from Christchurch.
Yep.
There's a river there.
See, I tend to go to a lot of the rivers, so we're always poker-nosing around, looking around. Yeah. I can't say I've seen anything, but hey, I bet you they're around.
Do you spend any
like-
nights in the bush? Do you go out at night?
Oh yeah,
Look out?
oh yeah,
You do that?
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's essential in this kind of field, isn't it, to get out there and actually be a part of their world.
Yeah, on the Ashley, we were there. I went outside to relieve myself in the middle of the night, and I don't really think Bigfoot. I definitely know they're flesh and blood, okay? But this thing, whatever I saw, I went into the tent pretty fast. It was like something beside the ute. It shimmered. I couldn't identify. I had no frame of reference for whatever the hell this thing was.
Okay. It's tall.
It was bloody tall. Very, very tall, and all I could see was it. Then it's like straight into the tent. I know it's not going to protect me much, but it's like, no, I've got no boom, and no. It just took me by surprise. It's like, oh no, you never expect it, do you?
Well, the Maui Man, you know, I mean, he's been spotted, you know, quite a, you know, spread throughout the country, isn't he? Our Maui Man.
Yep.
A
Fringe on.
little bit undecided. Yeah. I mean, there were reports of a gorilla that got loose back in the 1800s off a ship, and that sort of fell around.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess if you're going to see something like that, you'd be thinking, oh, you know, where's the closest circus?
Yeah.
Something's got loose.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
would think that. I mean, I guess it's a thought process.
It is.
Even for us, I think we would obviously rule that out first. Oh, yeah, we'll rule that out until we can pretty much come up with whatever.
Then again, if it's standing up on long legs, instantly makes it not a gorilla, doesn't it? So what are your thoughts? Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
on that Bigfoot trail, what do you think? What are your thoughts on the old Patterson Gimlin footage? What are your views on that?
it's definitely not a hoax because, well, this is my take on it anyway, Mark.
Yeah.
If you're going to do a hoax, wouldn't you do a male Bigfoot, not one with breasts?
Right. That's right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, think of the cognitive thinking back in the day. I don't think anyone would be that actually smart to do a female Bigfoot, I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's my take on it. I think it's legit. Yeah.
Well, that's the general consensus, really.
What's your take?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing footage. I mean, I know that there has been a lot of discussion about, you know, Bob Gimlin and Roger Patterson and all that, and their how honest they really were, especially, you know, Roger Patterson. But I think it's real. I do think it's real. I mean, there's been a lot of conspiracy coming out from that in the many years after that day, where they're saying that there was a whole family in the forest, and there was shootings, and there was actually a massacre of Bigfoot. You know, the whole Bigfoot family was shot down in cold blood. So I don't know. It's sort of that whole legend just sort of spreads out into some vast territory now. Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, I believe it. I believe it is real. It looks real enough to me. I have no reason to doubt it.
Well, they've stabilised it, they've analysed it. I don't doubt it. I mean, I don't believe everything, but 1969. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
A hell of a stage if they would do that. I don't think so. I don't think so, Mark.
And it's a huge.
Honestly, it would be
that area.
Yeah, Bluff Creek, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think in New Zealand would be a really good spot to go to something like Bluff Creek. We would find stuff here. I mean, New Zealand's so rugged, we could hide a bloody dinosaur here.
We could.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are you interested in lake monsters?
Yeah.
That's something I'm interested in.
I was going to say, what do you think about Loch Ness Monster? You get a lot of people that think it's like a big giant eel. Hey, it could be. Don't know. But this is my take on it. I'm definitely not a flat earther. I'm just not.
Good.
I'm not a hollow earther. I think it's like honeycomb because we've got that many caverns, caves. There could be God knows what hidden there. And the same with Fiordlands. You could hide a dinosaur there.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Easy.
People underestimate the size of the world, really, or their own backyard. I mean, we have we have a little lake here, a little volcanic lake called Lake Papuki, and nestled on that lake, on the side of that lake, is this old theatre, and we've done a lot of paranormal investigation at that theatre. But we've also been investigating this supposed monster within Lake Papuki. And I've got newspaper clippings that date back to the 1980s of this large creature that's been seen in the lake. And it's been described as dark grey and the thickness of a tractor inner tube. So that's quite a large eel. And it's dragged ducks underwater, it's dragged dogs underwater, it's knocked over kids in a kayak. The best sighting was a couple of old guys were in a rowboat and they were going out to Lake Papuki, and it came up beside them and they described it as a sort of rolling, like a tractor inner tube rolling in the water. And they said it was just huge and it sort of rocked the boat for a bit. So they saw it close up firsthand. It's thought that it's a massive ancient old eel. Divers haven't seen a massive ancient eel in there, but they've seen lots of lava tubes. There are huge lava tubes that go out to the sea because the whole area is volcanic. So there are lava tubes that are big enough for a giant eel to get through, but not big enough for a diver to swim through. So a lot of mystery about the lake. Yeah, I'm quite fascinated by it.
I think, like as far as cryptids go, I think most of the stuff that hasn't been scientifically recognised actually comes from under the sea.
Yeah,
that's like 90% of a different ball game that we have no freaking idea about, isn't it?
That's right. We're still discovering species to this day, aren't we?
Yes, yes. Sometimes it comes on stuff. It's like, oh, this has been recognised, da 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 da, and it's like, oh yeah, there's another new one every day. Well, not every day, but quite frequent. Oh, this is new. They haven't, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's always interesting to me when they say that when they discover a whole family, a whole tribe of apes, a brand new species of ape or something that was undiscovered and it wasn't even known about in the dense jungles. They'll find a whole
Are you
tribe of these
talking
apes.
about the billion?
Well, there's those. Yeah. There was one a few years ago. They found a whole tribe of a new species of gorilla. And for a whole family, a whole population of apes that large to be hidden away for so long, undetected, you know, it seems totally plausible that something like Bigfoot could exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if they're elusive by nature, what do you expect?
Yeah. Yeah.
These things, time and time again, I hear when they see it, they're so fast, you think, am I seeing stuff? And you'd question yourself. It'd be like, oh, am I seeing, what did I just see? You know? Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you're on the same track as me, really, when it comes to the Bigfoot type and other sort of cryptids as well. There are many stories about that come with sightings of say, for example, Bigfoot. He's seen in the forest. He's right in front of the person. They get a clear view of it. Then it steps behind a tree. It disappears. So it's kind of, I want to go there. Portals is something I've never really focused on in my research, but things are happening.
Me neither.
And it's kind of intriguing, and it's kind of pointing in that direction now. I don't know. Yeah, just like you, Mark, wanting answers. Yeah. And I never thought I'd get into the whole sort of portals and all that kind of, sort of side of it. I'm more sort of in the belief of flesh and blood. They're flesh and blood creatures. But, I don't know, things are kind of pointing in different directions these days. Whether people's thought processes are changing, I don't know, but people are seeing things and describing things that...
It's a paradigm shift. It's definitely a paradigm shift, eh?
Well, the descriptions of the sightings are just so different from what they used to be back in the 70s and 60s. I mean, these are sort of heading into different realms now.
Well, it's funny you should be talking about the portals and stuff, Mark, because when I was a kid, I never sighted this thing, but call it what you like, remote viewing, like mind speak. This thing said, basically, I want to come to the caves, and I go, no, I'm going that way. It was definitely, call it word, call it. So, I know exactly what you're talking about. So I'm not going to rule anything out because I've experienced that side of it. But when you're a kid, you don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah. Man,
have I figured out a lot from my own past experiences. Yeah. The more you look at it, it probably leaves more questions than answers, to be fair.
So where's your favourite spot? Where's your favourite sort of area for, hunting or exploring?
I would have to say probably the Huranui. The Huranui, which being in Huranui, South Island, and the Ashley River.
Really?
And they're close enough for me. I mean, just like you, got a regular job. You can't go too far, and if you got 5 hours drive to go somewhere, well, that's a week's planning, and that's a bit of time off work. So, definitely have your own spots. Yeah, the ones that I really want to go is probably 5 hours away.
Okay, cool. Because I'm heading down that way in the new year. Hopewell, if the planet works itself out and we come out of this lockdown and all that, I really want to get back down to the South Island and do some more exploration.
When you come down, look me up.
I will, because I mean, I went down to a few years back. We went down Central Otago and all that way, and mind blowing, beautiful place, incredible. It's just a whole different world down there. It's like being in a different country. So I want to explore, and the West Coast. I want to go down the West Coast as well. Some of the hardest to reach places. I want to try and explore some of them. So I'm
I do
get down.
believe that there was a panther sighted in the 70s in the West Coast, eh?
Yes. Yep. Yep. Yes. Mount Aspiring. That's another place. Mount Aspiring. There's a lot of stories around that way of creatures and aliens and UFOs and ghosts and all that. So, what's your favourite cryptid?
I'd have to say the Yowie.
Yowie?
Bigfoot, hands down, yeah. And probably the next one would be Thunderbird for me.
Okay. Yep. That's interesting. Yeah.
Thunderbird.
Yeah. No, yeah. I had a talk with old Ken Gerhard a while back. He's a cryptozoologist from Texas. He's big on his Thunderbirds.
Right.
And he's a neat guy. And Texas is the place apparently. Thunderbirds and ropens and what else?
Apparently in Texas everything will kill you, including the rabbits.
Yeah. And everything's so big apparently.
Yeah, I'd like to go there myself.
Incredible. The stories they have coming back from Texas. I've never been there, but and Mothman, that's another one I've always
They're
been.
pretty wild.
Yeah. Have you delved into things like the Chupacabra and Mothman, all those sort of more obscure cryptids? Is that something that interests you?
And so does the Dogman. I believe there's an encounter from the North Island. I didn't take it. The channel, unfortunately, is closed down now in Aussie. There was a Dogman encounter somewhere in the North Island. I don't know where. It was by a female. The interview was given from a female. That interests me. Scary as hell, I'm sure, but yeah. So I believe we do have the dog here. We
also have our goat man as well. Goat man has been seen quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
I've written quite a bit about the goat man in this time. We did I was quite intrigued by the sort of a few sort of handfuls of goat man stories that I'd heard, and it's quite intriguing. And then I put it out there on our Facebook page. Has anybody heard about the goat man? And we had hundreds and hundreds of people that have heard stories or had relatives or whose fathers or mothers or uncles had experienced the goat man on the desert road or by the Waiuru military camp, you know. It's very commonly seen apparently.
Funny how they hang around military bases, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a military base there.
Yeah.
Or military camp. I've tried to get into that camp and I couldn't get
into hang around places like that.
Yeah. And a lot of people that work and live there at the military camp have had stories come forward, and they swear on everything that they've seen. You know, it's incredible. It's amazing. Yeah. Something out there that's half goat, half human.
You'll find too. Yeah. You'll find too, Mark, with the stuff that we get into. They go, "What have you been smoking? What have you been drinking?" Come on. You know, you can't hallucinate. You just can't, you know.
Oh, people are just too easy to just dismiss things. You know, if they haven't seen it themselves, they just dismiss it. You know, it's just
or if they have, Mark, they've got like, that was a, and then they really have dismissed it, even though they have seen it. Oh no, that was a blah blah blah. Yeah, fully get it. So I guess, we do have to take one for the team. And I don't mind at all.
No.
If they want to call me a whack job, I'm down with that.
Yeah. Jeez. I've been told. I've been told people that I should actually give up doing what I'm doing. I've been told that I should stop researching ghosts and the paranormal, that I'm wasting my time, and that I'm spreading bullshit and lies. That's what I've been told, and then I should stop straight away.
Of course you're going to get the trolls.
Yeah. It's just craziness. It's like, why should you stop doing what you enjoy?
I would be inclined to go, exactly. I'd be like, screw you. You would want to make me do it more. Yeah?
Why don't they want to do it?
Don't tell me that I can't.
That's right.
Exactly.
What are they scared of?
And to be honest, I think everybody secretly has said, oh, you know, that so-and-so that happened 10 years ago, well, it could be something in it, but they're never going to admit it. Everybody must have some kind of weird experience from what different levels, mind speak, remote viewing, call it what you like. UFOs, paranormal, what the hell was that? Yeah.
I've met so many people that are normally quite skeptical about the whole ghost sort of paranormal side of things. But when you start talking to them, like my wife, for example, she's a professional in mental health. And so she works with doctors and neuroscientists and psychologists and all that kind of, all those kind of people, and told them what I do, and she was expecting them to sort of roll their eyes and just go, oh, nut job, but they didn't. They turned around and said, wow, that's fascinating, and they all came up with their own stories, and these are stories that they haven't told anybody else until now.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden the stories come out about them, they saw this, or their father saw this, or their mother told them the story about this, or their grandmother told them the story about this. And there are generation transitions.
Or I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah. And they're genuinely fascinated, and this is coming from the mental health sector. So that's quite positive. That's promising. I really like that. That's really good. So
that is a paradigm shift with those.
Yeah, paradigm shift. Yes, it is. People's thought processes are changing. I think people are starting to come around. Even science is starting to sit up and take notice now.
Yep.
Sure, there are a lot of nutters out there doing this kind of research, but there are a lot of serious researchers out there bringing in the good data as well and the good evidence.
Yeah.
And, it takes a while to actually sink in the science world, but eventually it will. And I'm fully confident that science will turn around and it'll become a serious science. It'll become a serious piece of research, taken seriously in the science industry. I'm quite confident of that.
Well, I think, Mark, you probably might have more hope. You probably might have more hope than me, because I'm a little bit, not so much skeptical, but I do think a lot of this stuff has been hidden for a reason. Maybe call me a conspiracy theorist, call me what you like, but I think the government has a lot to do with it. They stop the information from getting through. I mean, hypothetically, imagine, oh shit, yeah, we definitely have Bigfoot in New Zealand. Well, there goes the bloody camping, you're hunting, fishing, shooting. That's a lot of revenue gone down there. Yeah, forestry, everything.
Yeah.
They're going to hide it. They're going to hide it just like a lot of other stuff. Yeah.
That's right. Once you have a small population of creature that is rare and elusive, they're endangered. And you can't have an endangered species in a timber forest.
Exactly. Could you imagine that?
Because there are laws
protecting
our endangered species.
Like we're going to claim endangered. Correct. So, everything would actually pretty much go pear-shaped, I'd imagine.
Yeah. What do you feel about paranormal and cryptid TV shows? You watch them?
I watched it back in the day. Finding Bigfoot, it just, to me, it's my personal take, it seems like they make a bit of a joke about stuff like that. I mean, you don't go around banging crap around and stuff like that, I think technically it's a little bit piss-takey. I mean, they're probably awesome people, but I think it's like, no, I don't think that's how it's done. And that's how it comes to the normal populace. It's like, what a bloody joke.
Yeah.
And this is not a joke. This is real, just like you and I. We have a soul. Oh, I suppose we've got to prove that too. Do I pull my soul out and show you? You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's probably how I feel about that. Paranormal, yeah, it's pretty good. Got enough evidence, but at the end of the day, Mark, even if I don't come up with evidence, I believe. I know what I saw, and I know. I just know it.
Oh, I totally get it. I totally get it. I mean, I've been doing this paranormal research since I was a kid, since I was 10 years old. I'm now 52, and I have to say, the amount of things that I've seen that I couldn't explain at the time really are very minimal, and I can count them on my hands, one hand, you know, of evidence that I've saw, things that I've seen that I could not explain.
You figure it out in your later life and go, oh.
Yeah. But that's 5. That's a handful of stuff that I couldn't explain. And that's enough. That's enough to keep me going and keep me interested.
Exactly, and that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right. It's those little few unexplained things.
Exactly, and you figure it out eventually. But yeah, no one can tell me to not believe, because it would never come into my beliefs.
No.
I guess.
Well, I mean, my thought process is that the whole paranormal field, the whole cryptid field, the UFO field, all that, it's not going to come out there. Like, it's not going to be put out there in the media, in the news, that the government have done this, and it's not going to be accepted right on a worldwide scale. I believe that it's a personal journey. You have to experience to fully understand, or even start to understand, what you've seen.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a personal journey, but I think at the end of the day, they're going to give it soft disclosure, but they're going to dismiss it. Hang on. Okay,
so basically, how do you go about your research? What do you actually do? Can you run us through, how do you go out there looking? You know, what do you actually do to prepare? You know, do you have any equipment, or what do you usually take with you?
I just basically just go out like a typical hiker. I don't go out with equipment or anything like that.
You have a camera?
Sorry, must be a lab.
Oh.
No, nothing.
Not even a camera?
I just basically, if I see anything, no, nothing. Oh, except for my bloody phone.
Yeah.
That's it.
And a torch? You need a torch?
Oh, yeah, and a torch. Yeah. Just the normal stuff, and just the best thing to do is there's no actually point in going too far to look. Honestly, you don't find Bigfoot; they find you. Honestly, I can give you. There was one time I'm going to put it on the channel about. There must have been a couple of juveniles come through, and it's a reserve. Who knew we reserve? These things come through like horses stampeding, and I'm thinking, there's no way. There's bloody fences there, and I thought, I know what that was, because one of the kids were crying. The zipper was up, and he's crying, going, I'm cold. I'm thinking, well, did you pull the zipper up? And it's like, no. So, what has an opposable thumb, and I don't think another person while they're camping is going to go into somebody else's tent, try and unzip it. That was interesting. I haven't put that on the channel yet. I guess why I haven't put a lot of stuff out is because I need somebody to basically interview me. Or, as you know, life gets busy. I haven't had a chance either. So, yeah, I've got some excellent content that has to go out. I mean, at the end of the day, people need to know this stuff. But yes, the answer to that, the short answer is just a camera and a torch, and that's it.
Yep.
Oh, and my glasses, because I'm getting older.
I know. Yeah. I fully respect anybody that gets out there and does all this. It's it can be a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard yakka, and but very little return sometimes. So, you know, I fully respect anybody that actually gets off their ass and gets out there and does it. All right, Kim.
Yeah.
I'll
absolutely.
I'll put links to your page and all that sort of stuff on the end of this, and so people can get in touch with you.
Awesome, man.
You'd want people to get in touch with you and send you stories. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll send people your way, and I'm keen to get down your way as well myself. So.
Well, when you do, look me up, eh?
Yeah, I want to get down there. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah.
And yeah, I want to get out there before I'm too old to do it. Got a lot of searching to do.
Yeah. You got to watch those bloody steep hills, eh? Huff, huff.
I do a lot of hiking, so yeah.
Perfect.
I can handle it. It's all good. All right, Kim. Lovely talking to you.
All right, Mark. Good talking to you. You too. It's a good point for it, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And stay in touch, and we'll
All right. Well, you have a good night.
You too. Thanks very much. We'll talk later.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kim.
Yeah. No. Good. Yeah. Nice to meet you, Mark.